Okay, good evening, everyone. Just finished up my day at the Cocoa Beach office, and literally we have the beach right here, literally walking distance, like less than 5 minutes. So have a wonderful location. This is one of our locations is Cocoa Beach, and we'll talk about that and some of the other locations. I'm Dr. Kamal. And I'm what you call a board certified acupuncture physician in the state of Florida. We also have the initials DOM, which alludes to Doctor of Oriental Medicine. I've been in practice for 27 years and started other practices besides this one in Winter Park, Florida. And I also was a part of the first interdisciplinary practice where we had MDs working with Chinese medicine doctor like myself and massage therapists and psychiatrists and homeopaths all under one roof. So I started that many years ago, then retired and went into mainly my herbal business, and we'll talk about that another day. But then now I emerged out of retirement now to take over one of my teacher's practices here in Cocoa Beach and in another teacher's practice in Daytona Beach. So, with Chinese medicine, I've always wanted to embrace the ancient methods of healing as well as the modern approaches. Because when I was in Chinese medicine school, we had the opportunity to go train in one of the integrated hospitals in China, in Yantai, China. So I talk a little bit about that on my TikTok channel. And we did all kinds of wonderful approaches there, and including acupuncture, electroacupuncture, Tui Na, which is like a Chinese medical massage, which we say Tui Na, Anmo, and Zhengu. Zhengu means to reset the bones. So we do some bone setting there and do all kinds of massages. So you would like it to chiropractic or osteopathy. So you'll see different types of things on TikTok now about some of the approaches that we do. So we also do some other unique practices like nutritional counseling, body typing, which is a type of constitutional assessment. And then we also do ionic rebalancing therapy, which is actually acupuncture without needles. So you'll feel me as I move over your body, and you'll feel different changes in your ionic field, and that will help you reset and restore your body. I also like to teach people a style of physical therapy uh, that we call physio restorative therapy. It comes out of the ancient practice of Dao Yin. Now, what is Dao Yin? Dao Yin is the way of softness. So, with martial arts, you can be very hard and try to do all kinds of things to use muscle. While the way of softness is to relax and move your body into certain movements of alignment. And today, people here in the West know Tai Chi. Well, actually, it's called Tai Chi. Chi means to move or to actually create a flow. So the grand flow, you're moving so that your body will do what? Always be emitting the relaxation response. So we do things like Tai Chi, Baduan Jin. Baduan Jin is also another exercise that softens the body. And then we also do a type of daily Dao Yin and one of my other channels, and that's Oho Seminars. And we do that every morning at 7:30. So before I get here, and I'll show you around a little bit. So right outside there is the beach. And then right inside here is my office, and we have four treatment rooms here. And so we do the traditional Chinese doctor is always preparing him or herself for the day. And how we prepare ourselves for the day is we do our own daily Dalian to get ready for you guys so that we have enough energy, we have enough excitement, we have enough to give all of you throughout the day. So then now As we prepare and get our energy ready, then I always would give gifts to my patients. So whether it be giving them exercise like physio-restorative therapy or herbal therapy or moxibustion, I'm always in the goal of teaching so that people will be able to understand their journey to success in their health. So that's just my style. Not everybody does that, but I like to do that. So some of the other things that we offer here is plum blossom needle. You may see like on the Olympics, they see a lot of people do cupping, but that's not the correct cupping. Cupping should never actually leave bruising. So when we do cupping, not only is it a treatment tool, but it's also a diagnostic tool. So when we put it on, we actually see what's under the cup, and that's why typically they're glass, and we can see what your body's response is in that location that you may be having pain, or if you're having some internal condition like cough. Many people who have upper respiratory conditions or chronic upper respiratory conditions, then we can see the nature and the status of those particular organs by doing cupping and then seeing what's going on. And then we employ the proper intervention or the proper therapy. So I like to do a lot of different things. So like to recap, acupuncture, electroacupuncture, cupping, moxibustion, which is a type of herb that we use to heat, and then we will activate certain acupoints to get your body warm and get the circulation going. Remember, a lot of things that we do is to restore your body circulation, then this activates your particular immune system and you get your body back into balance. And then sustain balance is harmony. So, with different constitutions, which one of my specialties is called the body type system. I developed that over the years. And once I assess you through your body type, I may suggest different types of exercise or different types of nutritional counseling. So I have what's called the three avoidances. Some people should have never eaten vegetables a day in their life. No plant fiber. So no leaf, no stem, no root. I know, sounds crazy. So then other people should have never eaten any type of flesh. Doesn't matter if it's fish, doesn't matter if it's seafood, it doesn't matter land or sea animals. You should have never eaten flesh. It's the reaction that your body has to that substance. And then some people should have never eaten any type of grain. It doesn't matter if it's whole grain, gluten, no gluten. It's just the grain that's creating that reaction. So if you have one of those three avoidances, this is what can be causing a reaction in your body. And this is why your body is rebelling against you to tell you, stop giving me these things. And as soon as you stop giving it, your body goes back into balance, then harmony, and then you may lose weight. Your blood sugars may go back to normal. All kinds of things go back to your normal because you're no longer creating that flight or fight response, and your body's not fighting you. And that is what an autoimmune response is. Your body saying, stop it. And then I'm going to teach you until you stop doing this to me. So we learn that a little bit about what your constitution is, what your body type is, and then we talk about the three avoidances, or usually people have one, or sometimes people have two, depending upon what their constitution is. And then we help you get through that next phase, meaning that if you want to continue on eating all the things you're eating, fine. We can do intervention like acupuncture or electroacupuncture or help you with exercise. And so that it'll at least start to reverse some of the reactions that you're having. Then the other thing is we start to move into the next phase of it. Okay. And then you start learning about time aspects of it because one of my other specialties is time medicine. So there's certain things that happens in specific times in your body from 7 days to 60 days to 90 days to 180 days. And then you can plan on different aspects of what's happening with you. And then you say, okay, well, If I am a certain constitution, what's my beneficial season? Oh, well, great. We just entered into fall on the Chinese calendar because the Chinese calendar has 5 seasons. We just entered into fall. So if you're a particular constitution, this is your great season. But if you're another constitution, this is your worst season. So now we can still plan different therapies and get your body where you're capitalizing on the season that you're in, but then also nurturing on the season that's not beneficial. Because if you're in the winter season and your body doesn't work well in the winter, it's a good time for planting. So that once you get to summer, your body does really well. So either way, we can do something for you. So I just want you to realize that there's always hope and there's always things that you can do for yourself. Now, here we have 3 basic types of uh, ways that we assess things. So I talk about the 4 aspects of health. So the first aspect is examination. So whether you do a self-exam or you go to a professional and they get an exam, then the next thing is diagnosis. What do you have? What's going on? Then we have a clear understanding about how we do treatment, and we call that the principal treatment or the principal treatment protocol. Then we have to complete the protocol. So that's the 4 stages. Okay. So if you do those 4 stages and you have your health regime that you want to do, we have to go into how intensive we're going to do in stage 1. Stage 1 is the basic exam. So the basic exam, you come into my office, and typically in ancient China, we would do what we call the 4 exams: looking, listening, smelling, palpation, and then asking. Okay. So once we're doing those particular exams, we take a look at you, see what's going on. And that is just a basic exam. Typically, there we will prescribe herbs. And our basic exam is very quick, it's short. I prescribe you herbs, you're out the door, and then now you go and follow those treatment protocols. If you want to go more in depth, then we have the intermediate exam. And I do a little bit more into examination, start poking and prodding you a little bit more, seeing what's going on, and then we can do the other interventions in the office, like acupuncture, electroacupuncture, plum blossom needle, things like moxibustion or cupping. Those are physical interventions that you need to be in the office for. Then I can do even more comprehensive exam to get into your constitutional type and start delving deep into your whole lifespan and how your body is moving to and fro from the time you're born to the time you leave here. Okay. So then the idea is that we have those basic, intermediate, and comprehensive exams so that you have a roadmap to your personal success. What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? How do you accomplish it? And then I give you the basics of how to implement and complete your plan. So many times with acupuncture, electroacupuncture, or Tuina, or whatever, that's a minimum of 10 treatments. Why? That's the standard of care globally, because we're going to get you steadily through that treatment protocol, and different milestones will happen with there. If you have more of a chronic case, then we're going to use 20, 25, or 30 treatments to get you where you need to be so that you get back on your feet. And then if you're more chronic, then we have to do some more physio-restorative therapy and some other things to get you back on your feet, and then you activating your body's processes. So as we deal with your different level of exams, each time you come, there is a type of exam because we have to see, even if I change you, okay, what was the change? I have to examine again. And each time we go through each of these exams, I'm now tweaking the prescription a little bit by little bit to get you to where you need to be. So you'll see here that we have single appointments, and then with the different types of 10, 25, 30 type of visits that you need to come in and do, we have memberships here. So if you do the basic membership, intermediate membership, or comprehensive membership, you take care of your membership all at once, and then you're just coming in to actually get each exam done so that we can get you back to where you need to be. So that's our little place in a nutshell, our place here at Cocoa Beach. And like I said, we have 4 treatment rooms. We can't wait to see you. And then we also have another office that has 5 treatment rooms in Daytona Beach. And so I'm Dr. Kamal. And hopefully, you guys have already put in some questions, some really good questions with some of the questionnaires. Or if you haven't done the questionnaire, then go down into the chat and then we can just have a nice little talk in the live portion of this live event. And then we can answer your questions. I hope to see each of you soon, either virtually or in our office. Take care. Oh, okay. So have some questions in the chat. And one of the questions is, why don't I take insurance? We don't take insurance specifically because just from my experience over the last 27 years, it doesn't facilitate healthcare. And I want to have direct access to you guys to give you the best quality healthcare. Many times when I dealt with insurance in the past, I had to go through a non-trained medical person to get access to the patient that we already knew what they need. So I go in, I examine you, and then I have to go in and get all types of um, uh, requests done and those type of things to get the care that you already know you have. So just come to my office, we settle it, and we get you going straight into your membership, and then you're ready to go. So yeah, I get this question a lot. Does it hurt to do acupuncture? Well, I always say it depends. Sometimes those acupoints can be sore at first once I insert the needle, and then it begins to dissipate. Some people don't feel anything, depending upon if I'm doing scalp acupuncture or auricular acupuncture or other types of therapy with the needles, if it's on the body or different aspects like that. So yeah, it just depends. So you'll see that you begin to feel a sensation of tingling or vibration. Some people feel warmth with acupuncture. If I'm hooking up the electrodes, you actually feel more of like a pulsation, like a TENS, um, and you'll feel different things like that. So it just depends on your particular reaction. I'm always looking at your reaction to see how to adjust it best for your constitution and the best for your particular body. So do we treat children? Absolutely. So I will do body typing for newborns. And once we do newborns, and then usually when they have different milestones at 6 months old and they have their first foods, then we also suggest specific foods for their constitution. So they start off right in their nutritional matrix. So yeah, that's a great question. Let's see. Uh, See, my doctor says that acupuncture is number one for hormone issues. Yeah, actually, when we're regulating different type of hormones, like I had a call today for IVF, and we do a lot with regulating the menstrual cycle as well as for fertility. So Chinese medicine is amazing for the reproductive system to help with just regulating the cycle for women, regulating the cycle for men because there is not just premenstrual syndrome or for women. There's also for men too. Men get cranky too, so we can help with that. And so yeah, so we can help with a lot of different um, premenopausal syndrome, postmenopausal syndrome, many types of aspects of balancing the hormones so the body feels like you're normal. Many times when somebody's having a reaction, and I don't call it disease anymore because your body is constantly giving feedback and signals. And what's happening is that your body is talking to you. So if you're having different menstrual issues, if you're having pain, if you're having issues with hot flashes, all of those are actually just symptoms of your body communicating with you. And once you understand that communication, how your body's talking to you, then now that's where we go into your particular care and start to regulate different aspects. So yeah. So another question is, how do I know if I need moxibustion or acupuncture? Actually, in ancient times, we called it zanzhou. Zanzhou means acupuncture and moxibustion together. And typically we use both of those therapies together because they're like the left hand and the right hand. And this is one of the reasons why I stress the examination. When you come in for the basic, intermediate, or comprehensive exam, that actually determines the best intervention and the best therapy for that particular case. Many people here in the West know about acupuncture, but in China, when I was working in a Chinese hospital, we actually 80 to 85% of the cases we did is herbal, whether it be topical herbs, internal herbs, or different types of herbs in different forms. And then certain cases we did acupuncture, certain cases we did moxibustion, certain cases we did plum blossom, but 80 to 85% of Chinese medicine, even today, is herbal. Why? You have a billion, 1.4 billion people. There's no way to actually do a physical intervention like acupuncture or massage therapy for that many people. But you can do what? A basic exam, prescribe them herbs, and then they can go fill the prescription and then get their particular balance. So let's see. Okay. Can we treat eczema? I usually don't use the Western term. And eczema can be 10 different things in Chinese medicine. Typically, we say that this can be due to heat, dryness, dampness. We have different terminology because remember, this is 8,000-year-old medicine. So eczema is not really a proper term that we use. But when I examine the skin, if I see flakiness, if I see oozing, if I see redness, then I'll describe it properly in our terms, and that's the proper diagnosis. And then from there, we have the appropriate treatment protocol. So if it's heat natured, then we eliminate heat. If it is due to dryness, then what do? We provide moisture. If it's due to dampness, then we dry the dampness. So when we're looking at the different skin disorders that you may have, we have to actually examine properly, get the proper diagnosis, get the proper treatment protocol. And then once I prescribe the herbal medicine or acupuncture or whatever, we complete it so that the body goes through a cycle of re-education. Because your body from 0 to 100 days does what? It actually can get better or worse depending upon what you're doing. So if I drink alcohol for 100 days, guess what? The cells in my liver get worse and worse and worse every 100 days. But then as soon as I stop, then the liver actually repairs itself very well. Every 6 weeks, you get a new liver. So if you stop, the body will start to now repair itself. And then within 3 cycles, hey, I got really good liver function again. So then, okay, so for things like it says, will it help with narcolepsy, epilepsy, anxiety? Remember, all of those things, when people say that to me, I say it's meaningless. First, I have to look at you, examine you, bring it into Chinese medical terms, and then give you the proper assessment. So we say narcolepsy, okay? Some of those things actually have to do with what we say is qi deficiency. Now, what is that? What does that mean? It means that your body functionally is not connecting to the way that the brain and the heart work because we look at organic function, meaning each organ has its own function and connection to the body. So we would never say narcolepsy. We would say Improper communication between the heart and kidney, or heart and spleen, or heart and liver, and then balance the harmony between those things. And then neurologically, that connection would actually alleviate that particular symptom. So things like anxiety, we say actually worry. So why do people worry? Why do they overthink? Well, there's a specific organ from our point of view is what? The spleen. We say the thoughts roll through the spleen. It comes from an ancient book called the Huangdi Neijing Suwan, and that's the Yellow Emperor's Guide to Internal Medicine. And in that book, he's talking to his Surgeon General, and the Surgeon General is answering questions to the emperor. So he says, well, what about this symptom or what about that symptom? And then the Surgeon General would go into a deeper understanding of what's happening in the human body and how to correct it. And they even had different therapies in those days. They had acupuncture in those days and moxibustion, and he would actually go into which medical intervention was better for which condition according to that time. So, okay. So, other questions like, so do I still need to see my regular Western doctor if I come to see you? That's your choice. I'm always a patient advocate. Whatever is better for you, for your ideology, for your lifestyle. Remember, I was trained in East and West. We were in an integrative hospital. We did both Eastern and Western medicine. The president of the hospital was a cardiologist and a time specialist. Now, what is a time specialist? So, the time specialist is a person who calculates the position of the planet, our planet Earth, then also what we call the whooshing. The whooshing is the flying stars. So he would calculate the distance between, let's say, Jupiter and Mars and, Mercury and the magnetic waves hitting the planet where we were in Yantai, China, and then how that affects the human body. So he was not only just a cardiologist on the Western side, he was also calculating planetary forces and helping human beings on this planet where he was by prescribing herbs at the right time to release different types of hormones and different types of aspects of the human body according to the planetary eddies and the magnetic waves and the ionic waves coming from each planet. So they have a lot of different, cool things like that in the hospitals in China. So let's see. Do I need labs as I get treatment? No, you don't need labs. Remember, 8,000 years ago, what did we use? We used our own type of CT, MRI, blood work. What did we use? We used the tongue, we used the complexion, we used the pulse, and then asking the most accurate computer. That's you, me asking you certain questions and you responding a certain way gives me indication to how your complexion, your tongue, and your pulse all match up. So, like in Western medicine, I do a complete exam for you, but then I go get a blood test, then I go get an MRI, an X ray, thermography, whatever. Well, I take all of that data and then I come up with a clinical picture. Well, 8,000 years ago, we took all that data and then came up with a clinical picture. Actually, it doesn't change. Then, when we see the clinical picture change, then as I use interventions, I see your complexion change, I see your tongue change, I see your pulse change, and then ask you, well, hey, how's your pain? How's your condition? How's your different aspects of different things? And from there, I have a baseline in your original assessment. And as I'm doing the intervention, your pulse is changing right then and there in the office. And I can see what the changes are in order to see how your body responds to that therapy. So if you begin to understand that it is a functional way, because nowadays we talk about functional medicine, I can see your body changing in real time. So in the hospital I trained in, we actually did blood work 4 times a day. Oh, why would anybody do blood work 4 times a day? Because at different times, remember, the president of the hospital was a time specialist from midnight to dawn to noon to dusk. Your body secretes different types of hormones, body fluids, cells, all kinds of things. So what happens is that when he was doing his particular research and type 2 diabetics that had no islets, and what are islets? Islets are the actual cell that produces insulin. So these particular people had no pancreatic islets. So he would make sure that at the appropriate time, when the organ was the best energy, he would harmonize with certain planets, write the prescription, and then what was the result of that? What the result was is that their pancreas started to produce those islets again, those cells. So we can actually use the magnetic waves, we can use the ionic waves of different forces to actually stimulate function in the human body. And that was one of his research projects that he was doing for type 2 diabetics. So when you understand the right time and you're getting the right information at the right time, it actually shows you the highs and the lows. Just like right now, we can go out to the ocean and we can see low tide, high tide. The same thing happens with your body. You have low tide and you have high tide of different different hormones and other types of products that your body makes in the body. So, I like to do things in real time, see how your body is responding, and then I can give you a clinical picture that is a proper assessment for you. Remember, when you get a blood test, what happens? They're giving you a picture of a general group of people. So if I'm looking at your thyroid profile, your liver profile, they'll say, oh, between this age and male and female and different things. Well, okay, what does that have to do with you? It has nothing to do with your particular clinical picture, your particular um, constitution. So we have to make sure that we make everything specialized to you, the individual. So that's the difference that I like when I practice Chinese medicine in the daily practice that I do. So let's see. Also, okay, how long is the response to a treatment? It depends on you. That's why the very first treatment, I'm gauging what we're doing. And now, why we do 10 treatments is because from that first treatment for acupuncture to the last treatment of acupuncture, it's literally a measurement. So I can see how your body responds to it. And then if you're, let's say, in pain, and you've had chronic pain and you say, okay, I've been on a pain scale of 1 to 10, it's been 8. Well, through those 10 treatments, I can see how well you're responding to it and how your body as a pendulum will go back and forth. So I eliminate the pain in the office. Oh, 2 days it comes back. Then I eliminate it again. Oh, 6 days it comes back. Eliminate it again. Oh, it stayed 2 weeks now. Then it eliminates for, oh, 2 months now. So now I can see how your body is responding and then gauge at the end of that 10 treatments. Okay, then what we need to do is see how your body does, and then I'll see you in the office in 30 days or 60 days. Many of my treatments go from acute phase, which is 10 days, you're having some sort of acute respiratory response, to 30 days or 90 days. Or if you're having chronic pain and it's 30 days, 90 days, or 180 days, because I want to see how your particular body is going to respond to the intervention or therapy. So that gives you a kind of idea that I'm looking at all the time because I'm using time medicine to show you how your body works and then how to train you on the language of your particular body. So let's see. How many times per week should I be treated? It depends. If you're doing herbal therapy, obviously that's going to be every day. And we're going to be doing that twice a day. So you'll be taking herbs twice a day for either 10 days, 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, whatever it may be. Some we have people on respiratory therapy for the entire year so that we can repair lungs if they've had some chronic lung condition. And then we go through the 5 seasons. So as their body is going through the 5 seasons of repair, then what begins to happen is the body gets used to every season. And then now we just passed a very critical part of the time of year, which is what we call the golden season. So that's the Earth time. So typically, right around the late summer period, we have three main sections of the 24 solar cycles where we will build people's immune system. So if you have respiratory condition, chronic respiratory condition, or other types of issues, you build on this time so that you never have any reaction in the fall and the winter. So we do different types of things. So let's see. My son has had asthma since he was young. Is it possible to help him? Absolutely. Because remember, we're not looking at asthma. We're looking at the reason behind him having asthma. So many times here in America or in Western medicine, whether you're Europe or whatever, they're looking at the lung issue as the issue for what they're calling asthma. Well, actually, we treat the kidneys for some types of respiratory issues because we say that the kidneys provide inspiration. So if the person has some sort of issues with their kidneys, then we can strengthen that. And remember, the kidneys sit right behind and right below the lungs under the diaphragm. Well, if the kidneys are working properly, then the diaphragm can relax and then you can take in more air. So that's the idea. So then we'll look at the kidneys. Maybe it's a digestive issue. So, what are the two organs that don't develop well in utero? Well, the two organs that you don't use is the stomach and the lungs. So then now we look at the digestive issue. Maybe it's a digestive issue that's going on. Still will interfere with the diaphragm. So with your son being young, let's see what happened in utero. And then we start to look at how we can nurture those areas, strengthen those areas, depending upon how young he is. His growth plates are still open. He can grow out of it. And then we just actually help him with either herbs or cupping or other types of intervention to help him strengthen that reproductive and the respiratory area. Now, why do I say reproductive? Remember, our body has stem cells. So stem cells do what? Replace every cell. Well, that's a part of our reproductive system. We reproduce every cell from the time you're born to 365 days. There's the time medicine again. We actually replace every cell in our body. So it's cool, we can actually go through the what? The ability to have enough energy to replace every cell in the body and then make our body what we need to. So you'll see, which model are you? Well, okay. Well, if you're 10 years old, hey, that's your 10th model. Your body's rebuilding itself. So these kind of things you can do to actually get your body back to your normal. So, okay. So I would like to come in just for maintenance. Can I do that a few times a year? Absolutely. So that's why I like people to come in actually every 72 days, the 5 times a year to 5 seasons. So if you come in just for a checkup for what? Those 5 seasons, we can see how your body is responding to each season and tweak you a little bit. And then also you go to my other channel, which OHO Seminars, we do the daily Dao Yin. And I always call that the small win channel, right? Because if you're actually doing daily exercise, small wins become big wins. You're adjusting your body slowly, day by day by day. And guess what? You don't have to come in 5 times a year because you're constantly realigning your body and strengthening your own immune system, regulating your own diet, doing different things to get your body back to your normal. In China, everybody's outside at 3:30 in the morning doing exercise, keeping their body fit, keeping their mind fit, keeping their mind clear, and then they don't have to go into the doctor constantly. That's how you keep 1.4 billion people out of the doctor's office. So that's a way to do what? Keep yourself healthy by doing what? Maintaining your own type of diet. So, but if you need help, again, 5 times a year, you come in on every season and then we tweak you a little bit. So, can you treat growth hormone deficiency? Depends. What's the why is the hormone deficient? We have to find out why. That's not enough information. So let's see. Can I still get benefit if I don't want to do nutritional therapy? Absolutely. So when I talk about one of the things I talk about on the other channel is the four energies. So we talk about sunlight, oxygen, water, and then food. Well, when you get involved, or I should say, in relationship to the sun, and the sun actually, the safe sun, comes in contact with your body, reacts with your melanocytes, reacts with your pupils, reacts with your central nervous system, your body starts to give you beneficial results of the sun. That's about 15 to 18% reaction in the human body. Then you go and you get the safe oxygen. When the trees feel safe, they release their byproduct. And then that is what? Our oxygen. So then now 65% of our body is oxygen. So that's why we do our daily Dao Yin in the morning. You get that beneficial oxygen and you begin to now repair your body, restore your body, or just keep it healthy. Harmonize your body every morning. Small wins or big wins. Then we have our hydrogen coming from water. So that's 10%. So let's add it up. So we have 15 to 18%, 65%, and then 10%. Means 90 to 93% of our particular function doesn't come from food. So how important is nutrition? Not as important as they make you think, because your body does not get any nutrition from food. Your body gets a reaction from food, and your body doesn't absorb anything. Now, that's a controversial statement for here, people in the West. But I say, okay, if you absorb anything, then how could you have waste? Your body from your epiglottis all the way down to your anal sphincter is a completely closed system. And you're reacting to different things from an enzymatic way, from an acidic way, from a thermic way, and it's completely closed. Why? It is closed so that your body has that reaction and releases an ionic exchange with your body. And then your body uses your glands and your organs and produces your own product. So once you realize that, you realize I'm getting my sun reaction. So my body is producing melatonin. Oh, I have a beautiful sleep. As soon as I get sunlight, that melatonin becomes serotonin. Then I have happy mood. Then I'm getting my oxygen. Well, oxygen, oxy means acid. Gen means to form. So acid forming, all my amino acids actually come from oxygen, does not come from the GNC. So when I do the proper exercise, that's how I'm generating all of my amino acids. Then I get my hydrogen, and that's how I get hydrated. So now I'm getting my carbon from the sun. I'm getting my oxygen. I'm getting my hydrogen. That's where my carbohydrates are coming from. And now that I have most of that, then I can get other types of different interventions from food, but depending upon my constitution, that reaction either can be beneficial to help the 90 to 93% or detrimental and hurt my 93%. And it can create different types of manifestation that we call sickness, disease, whatever. So let's see. My child is going back to school soon. Do you have any suggestions on how to keep her well while being around all the germy kids in class? Absolutely. So one of the things I always recommend is one of our products called Immunity. And if you do Immunity 3 days every month, and we usually start the first, second, and third day, you're building the person's immunity, and then you do 3 days on, 27 days off. So if you're doing that, then now that's training the body to get that immune system up and rearing and going so that each month as you're doing it, after 90 days, what did I say? After 100 days, your body starts to get that memory to your benefit. And so people do it all throughout the year, and then their body is trained to take care of any type of invader. And so that's what we call zheng qi, the upright qi, that gets your body always upright. Now, what does that mean? In ancient times, when people were walking around, they were upright. When they got sick, what did they do? They started to slump. So then that's why we say bu zeng qi, keep you upright, and then your body will keep strong and it will keep healthy and it will get rid of those invaders. So those are some great questions. So let's see. Uh, let's see. What do we have here? Have some other questions. And just everybody feel free to chime in as I'm going through some of these different questions. Okay, can we do homeopathy and traditional Chinese medicine at the same time? Absolutely. Um, you would have to work with a homeopath that knows a little bit about Chinese medicine because certain herbal medicines can not really interfere, but it will, like for example, boha. Boha is a mint. So sometimes strong types of flavors and scents will actually interact not so well with homeopathy. So you want somebody who knows what they're doing. And usually I always recommend a classical homeopath, and then they'll have that background. So you can just go to somebody who's trained and then they'll help you with that aspect. So I used to work with a classical homeopath. That's why I know that. So if you're in Central Florida, Dr. Franz can help you a great deal because she's trained in that kind of skill. So let's see what other questions that we may have. And I'm glad that you all came, and see, we have a lot of people here that came at the last minute, and then we have some people who are going to be listening in different time zones, and they're going to be listening to the recording. So if you have any questions after this live event, then you can actually just submit them, and then my staff will get them back to you. So let's see if we have any more. Let's see. So it looks like we have all of our questions answered. And if you don't have any more, then I thank you all for coming. Welcome you to my office virtually. And then hopefully I can see you guys in the Cocoa Beach office or the Daytona Beach office soon. So excellent. So until next time, we're going to be doing different things. You can go to my TikTok channel is Affordable Asian Medicine. We post every day something. So if I talk about different types of disorders and I do different stitches about Chinese medicine or other types of things, you'll find some things like that interesting. So go to TikTok and just put our full name, Affordable Asian Medicine, and then you'll see our channel and you'll be able to see that. And also go over to OHO seminars and look at the Daily Dao Yen, and then come join us. And we can go ahead and sign off for tonight. And this is not our last time doing this, but we will be doing more types of live events and then answering all your questions. So I'm Dr. Kamal, and I will see you all next time.